This is an Extra 106.3 podcast. To hear more live and local content like this, tune into 106.3 FM or download the Extra 106.3 app. Extra 106.3 and a Second Chance Bail Bonds are proud to bring you Justice Unfiltered. Real conversations with real people from every side of the justice system. From the latest in law and order to the voices of those impacted, changed, and working to make a difference. This is where truth meets transformation. Now, it's time for Justice Unfiltered, presented by a Second Chance Bail Bonds on Atlanta's only conservative news and talk station, Extra 106.3 FM and the Extra 106.3 app.
Welcome to Justice Unfiltered on Extra 106.3. My name is Tug Cowart, along with Daniel Matalon. He is the CEO of a Second Chance Bail Bonds and a Second Chance Monitoring, and we have two incredible guests for you to meet today. You thought we've had good guests before here on Justice Unfiltered. Today is going to knock that out of the park. We are joined by Francie Chapman, and that is Dog's wife, and then Dawn Atkins. How are y'all?
Doing great.
Really good.
It's
Thanks
so
for having
good.
us.
Man, y'all have already lifted the profile of this show through the ceiling. Me and Daniel drag it down. I mean, the show got prettier, it got smarter, everything just went in the right direction all of a sudden.
Well, thanks for having us.
Oh, my gosh. Well, y'all are working on some pretty incredible stuff, I hear.
We are.
Yeah, so you grew up South Florida. You grew up, I guess, originally from South Florida, then ended up in Colorado, now here in Georgia.
That's right.
And what is it? Because I asked Dog this. What is it about Georgia that brought you here?
We originally started out in Florida, and I've lived on a ranch for 30 years. And so
And Dog, what you don't
Dog's
say,
smashing his face against the window.
I'm not sure if the cameras are able to pick it up, but yes, he's making kid faces. You know how kids do when they smash their face up against the window? That's what he was doing.
Leave it to Dog.
Yeah, that's right. Always the biggest personality and so much fun and such a sweet man. But anyway, pick back up. So you moved to Georgia.
So Dog and I left Colorado, and we started out in Florida. But I'm a country girl, and I've lived on a ranch for 30 years, and the snowbirds and the people and the city life was not cutting it. And so we just fell in love with Georgia, and we go to an amazing church here.
Love it.
And so I needed to get back to the country. So
well, give your church a country call out.
Yes,
tell everybody what it is.
It's Abundant Life in Locust Grove.
Okay, there you go. So if you're looking for a new church home and you're in that area, that'd be the perfect place to go. Dr. Dawn Atkins has joined us. How are you today? And
I'm doing great.
And where do you live?
So I live in Ormond Beach, Florida.
Okay, close to Daytona.
And also in Burnett, Texas.
Okay, you go between the two.
I do.
Okay, and what brings you to town today?
Well, coming for this, but hanging out with Francie and Dog and just...
How long have you known them?
I guess probably close to a year now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So a relatively new relationship. I love that. And I love when people come together for really good reasons. Francie, you've had some bumps in the road in the past.
Yes.
Do you mind going into a few of those?
A few speed bumps.
Yeah.
Eh? So, I was addicted to drugs when I was in Florida. I dealt for a long time in Miami. Daniel and I have a similar, and Dawn. We all came from Miami.
Yeah.
And was in a really abusive marriage, violent. We were both violent. Mm-hmm. And I knew that I needed to get out of that life. And I had recently found my birth mom, and she lived in Colorado. And so, that was my way to get out.
Okay.
To get out of the life. I knew I needed to get out, and my ex-husband tried to kill me.
And, oh, my goodness.
So she helped me. I did a middle of the night, pack it all up in a U-Haul, and got out of Dodge and moved to Colorado.
I've done that for a friend myself.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think this is as uncommon as people would like to think. You know? And so we've all been there. It's just sometimes it's hard to talk about, and you're very open and willing to talk about it.
Yes, because Well, first of all, I'm probably the least shy person that you'll ever meet.
You and Dog, that's why you're such a good pair, right?
Yes, and I love people, and if you're ever going to change lives or help change lives, you're going to have to be willing to talk about the hard things and what happened. And that's why so much stuff is brushed under the carpet, because nobody wants to talk about it. And so how are you going to change lives? You have to talk about it. And so I'm just willing to do that.
I love that about you. And I think people need to hear that. And I think people need to realize that you're not the only one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I mean them. You listening right now, if you're in a tough situation, you're not the only one. There's people that have experienced it and just unfortunately haven't been willing to talk about it until now.
Well, we're so good at making things look so perfect.
Why do you think we do that?
Oh, because then you don't have to face what you're going through and what you're in. And you don't have to look at yourself.
That's right. I think that's a really good answer, and I don't know that many people would have given that answer. I think that's exactly right. Talk about Light Up the Darkness Ministries.
So Dog and I started that when we first got together, because God gave me this scripture, and it's Isaiah 61, and it's about, pulling people out of the darkness. And look at what, of all the people that Dog could have been with, I know that God chose me, and it was for a reason bigger than just us. Yeah. Or two people that had gone through the loss of their spouses. It was bigger than that. And we knew that we wanted to change lives, and we know that God called us to pull people from the gates of hell. Yeah. And we do that in prison. Like, the people in prison that are in prison are going through hell, and they've been through hell. And it's just a passion of ours. I mean, Dog's been doing it for 40 years, and God said, hey, I'm going to open the door and let you be a part of this.
Who would have thought?
No, not in a million years.
No, that's right. No. Exactly. But I think
Look, I come from this itty-bitty little ranch town in Colorado called Elizabeth. And anybody from Colorado knows Elizabeth. It's a ranch town, and it's a tiny town. So to pull me off of my 60-acre ranch and open this door and tell me, I'm going to put you with Dog the Bounty Hunter and give you these platforms to be on, I would have.
Oh, yeah. Who would have thought? But that's kind of the thing that I see that the good Lord does. He uses imperfect people for a perfect cause.
That's right.
For sure.
Bringing you in, Dawn, if it's okay to call you that, or Doctor, what do you
Dawn's
like?
Fine.
All right. Because if I were a doctor, you call me doctor, please, because I work really hard for this. No, I kid. I want you to talk about Radical Restoration Ministries, nonprofit, faith-based nonprofit that you've been operating across Florida, Alabama, Texas, and Indiana.
Mm-hmm. So we have transitional homes for women coming out of trauma. The majority of our ladies are either court-ordered instead of prison or coming out of prison. Mm-hmm. And so we're a 12 to 18-month program where the ladies come in, and it's pure discipleship.
Oh, my gosh. Mm-hmm. Such a great cause, such a great thing to do. And I know just by our discussion that you've also had some bumps in the road.
Yeah. I spent 26 years in addiction, 16 drug treatment facilities, in and out of mental hospitals, living in the streets as a homeless prostitute. I never dreamed that my life could be different.
Gosh.
And
yeah, but back to my original statement, God uses imperfect people all the time to get to that perfect cause. And now, none of us are perfect in the room by any means. There was only one for sure. But now this episode, just two people that have really worked hard and walked through real darkness came out better on the other side. Loss, faith, finding purpose. Dawn, you started in a jail cell with a Bible and a promise. What does it mean to you that y'all are together now doing good or doing God's work, I would say?
It's amazing. It's so much fun even to go back where we came from. When I had an encounter with God, I asked him, I'm like, what am I supposed to do? And he said, be the change you needed. Oh, wow. And it took out all the hard stuff. And I knew, I needed to be loved and to be heard. And so that's what we do. We go in and just share his love.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know that many people really get that in their darkest times. Do you think people understand that that's the one thing?
No. I mean, I don't think they understand it at that moment. And coming out of what I came out of, I never believed that I was lovable and that I could be loved like that. I never believed it was for me. It was for everybody else. Even people that had done worse things than I had, I believed that there was love for them, but I never believed it for me.
What about you, Dawn?
Same thing. Yeah, I could believe it for somebody else, but I could never see myself any different.
Why do you think that is? Because we're all worthy of love, right? I mean, even if it's, Daniel, I mean, you love your kids to no end,
right?
And parents love their children, and it doesn't matter. Like my son's 21, be 22 this summer, and he's still my little guy. He's always going to be my baby boy, and I'm always going to love him to no end.
Not everybody grows up in houses like that. So when you're told that you're never going to amount to anything, my brother molested me most of my growing up years. 10 years.
Yeah.
And so you see yourself, you've swallowed everything you've been told. And so that's how you see yourself. And until you see yourself different, you don't believe different.
Right.
Yeah.
I think we get wrapped up in shame and rejection and abandonment, and it's just...
And then it becomes a cycle.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which is what y'all want to stop. And I think this is a good time to take a break here on Justice Unfiltered, a serious conversation, but a conversation that needs to be had and needs to be heard. So when you hear this, whether here on Extra or you hear it in podcast form, do us a favor, share it. Because I think this message needs to get out. I think this message needs to be heard by so many people that maybe find themselves in a difficult situation that can improve. And we have two women in here today telling you that it can improve. When we come back, coming from very different backgrounds, working together, missions overlap, just being able to do good in 2026 when it seems like the world is on a crash course, is on a collision course. It seems like everything is bad, and yet y'all have found a way to do good. I want to explore that next on Justice Unfiltered. On Extra 106.3, our guest is Francie Chapman and Don Atkins, Dr. Don Atkins, along with Daniel Matalon of a Second Chance Bail Bonds and a Second Chance Monitoring. My name is Tug Cowart, here on Extra 106.3.
This is Justice Unfiltered, presented by a Second Chance Bail Bonds on Extra 106.3 FM and the Extra app.
Welcome back to Justice Unfiltered on Extra 106.3. I'm Tug Cowart along with Daniel Matalon. He is the CEO of a Second Chance Bail Bonds and a Second Chance Monitoring. Our guest, Francie Chapman and Don Atkins. Dr. Don Atkins, you probably know Francie from being the wife of the famous Dog the Bounty Hunter, which you've heard here on Extra 106.3. I would imagine people come to you and just want to know, what's he like?
Yes. All the time.
No matter where you are. It doesn't matter if it's the church or the airport.
It doesn't matter.
What do you tell them?
In the grocery store.
Yeah, right. There in the produce aisle.
I can't even begin to tell you how many people find me in the grocery store to ask me questions about Dog.
What is the number one question you get about him?
Is he really that amazing as he seems? And he is.
Yeah.
He absolutely is that amazing. And he's hilarious.
He is funny.
Yeah.
That's something that Daniel and I have seen up close.
All day. It's just all day, yeah.
This guy, he was pressuring Daniel. He was like, look, I need 2 weeks vacation and let's go to the U.S. Virgin Islands, okay?
Yeah. I mean,
and Daniel was already agreed to it.
Yeah, he hit me with it.
Daniel and I just had this conversation in the hall because we go to churches and we speak at a lot of places.
Yes, ma'am.
And I used to sit in the front row with my nails clenched to the seat because I didn't know what was going to come out of his mouth, and we're in a church.
Oh, yes, ma'am.
But God really got a hold of me about all of that, and he's like, stop trying to make him who they are, because that's not who I created him to be. And so I'm like, okay, so now this is my answer is you paid him to come here.
Yeah, now you get what you get.
You get what you get. And I'm not making myself crazy anymore.
What you see is what you get.
That's right.
I think that is a great plan forward.
Yeah.
Dawn, what's your favorite story about Dog the Bounty Hunter since you've known him?
They're hilarious. We went into a prison and went to death row, and Dog went down and was just loving on her and asking her questions, and she's doing the Dog the Bounty Hunter dance for him, and just seeing him interact down there was awesome.
Just seeing him in his element.
Yes.
Isn't that the best?
For sure.
Daniel, I'm sure either you've seen it or you will.
Yes, yeah, I've had a lot of very positive and fun experiences.
and here's to many more.
Many. And here's to many more. Yes, and here's to many more.
With a great arrangement, and you have a great foundation too, called the Second Chance Foundation.
Yeah, a Second Chance Community Foundation, which is and Francie and Dawn, thank you guys both for coming on. Two incredible women with incredible stories, and that's kind of the tie I think will be between the foundations, and kind of maybe we can help push, even kind of help further their reach, the mission on what they're doing. So it's really cool stuff. So we're happy to hopefully be a part of it. So.
Good folks helping good folks. Francie and Dawn, you all, your missions overlap a little bit. What do you think each of your background and the foundations that you both share or have, rather, how do you think you can help each other? And Francie, we'll start with you.
Well, the first thing that I want to say is why I think that this is so amazing, because we're in this place in the world that even in the ministry, everybody's backbiting and, oh my gosh, they did this to me and they took this and they're trying to do what I'm doing. We're all supposed to be doing the same thing.
Yeah.
The Bible has called us all to go out and to do what we're doing. And why shouldn't we be doing it together? It's all the same goal, to try to help people and pull them out from hell. And so that's the thing that Dawn and I became instant friends. And even though what we do is similar, I don't have houses yet, but I plan to, and she does. So when I need help, I can call her and say, hey, I have this lady and she's really struggling, and I can send her to Dawn. We go into the prisons together and we're helping women together. Even though our ministries run parallel, we're doing different things and we're helping each other. If she calls me and says, I need this, I got you. I need to get on a plane or drive 6 hours or go do an intervention for somebody, I've got her back and I'm going to do it.
I love it. Dawn, I love your perspective.
We're stronger together,
I love
right?
that,
And because we have different backgrounds,
yes, ma'am,
our testimonies are different and we reach more people. Not everybody has my background. They might have sexual abuse in the past or whatever, but yeah, we're just stronger together and we can love more people through that.
Gosh, it's amazing when you are able to put your pride aside.
Sure.
Because you talked about the backbiting.
Yeah.
And look, I grew up in church my whole life, and I've seen it up close. My sweet wife, we've been at the same church for 17 years, and she this year just started reading the Bible in a year, right? And she's halfway through it. I'm so proud of her. It's amazing to see the way that the good Lord can work in your life. And we're not perfect by any means. We've been married
by any means,
right? And she's the yin to my yang, right? The things that I'm good at, she's not. Vice versa. Things that she's good at, I'm not. And that's what makes it work so well for us. And we've been married 25 years, and we have a 21-year-old son, and he's doing so well. And I'll tell you, I see a revival that's happening in America, and I see you shaking your head because I know y'all see it too. Like my son is, he's 21 and he's a college baseball player, and on Sunday night, Sunday morning, if they're not traveling, he's at church, but if he's not, he's listening to the message of the church that either we go to or the one that he's going to in college. And then on Monday night after practice, it's Bible study. And it's not just him, Francie.
That's awesome.
There are so many young men on this baseball team, and they're all showing up. They're all going. There's something bigger that's happening, and it's beautiful.
It is beautiful.
Either one of you can take it, because that's what we're seeing.
Yeah.
The church attendance is up, reading the Bible among young men specifically, and I'm a father of a son, so that's it. Let's take it to the young women's side. Maybe you all see that more than I do.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. What God's doing inside the prisons, Dawn, is incredible. Yeah. The power of God is moving so incredibly in the prisons, and these ladies are hungry for change, I'd take a prison any day of the year over being on a platform at a church.
Yeah, because the
life change is happening there.
Absolutely, and look, the church we go to is great. They're wonderful, Bible believing. Everything is out of the good book. It's nothing is customized. Nothing is tailored.
Yeah,
it is
us too.
But I will say, in that environment, you do see people that are comfortable, right? They've become comfortable in life, whether work or whatever, and that's great. Working hard and having that payoff's wonderful. But I think what y'all see inside a prison, you're seeing people that may meet God for the first time ever.
Yes.
So this past year, we've probably had 1,500, 2,000 salvations and baptisms in one unit.
Wow.
And it's funny, the place that it's coming from, as we are allowing our one lady that on Life Row, we call it, and she's preaching to all the girls in solitary confinement, and they're giving their lives to Christ. It's just amazing.
So you're seeing it in young men and
Yes.
away in college. You're seeing it in jail.
Yes.
You wouldn't even think that those could have anything in common, and yet they have the most important thing in common.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm so blown away by it, and I love the fact that y'all are talking about it because you're not going to turn on the news and see it at night. That's why this show, but that's why Daniel doing this show is so very important because we talk about the things that the news ain't talking about.
Yeah. Yes.
Where do you see this going? Where's this revival, if you call it that? Where are we headed with it?
Listen, we want to set up tents in every prison in the United States. And so we've watched miracles happen in prison, people getting out that were never supposed to be out. Dawn's husband. Okay, tell him about Ron.
So my husband had 500-year prison sentence.
Wait. 500 years?
Yes.
Daniel, is that even possible? I never even heard of that.
Anything's possible, but
I mean, I've never even heard of that.
He was sentenced to 599-year sentence, and then got another 5 years while in prison. He did 26 years in prison, 13 years in solitary confinement.
I can't wrap my head around it.
And when he
really
got
can't.
out and we got married, we went to church, and the judge that sentenced him to prison was preaching at the church we were at. And God restored that relationship, and we literally started a church with the judge that sentenced him to 599-year sentences.
What a testimony.
Wow.
His projected parole interview date was 2096.
What an unbelievable testimony, because God works in the most mysterious ways.
Yes.
And our pastor always says, do something so big, create something so big that only God could have had his hand in it.
That's right.
Or it won't happen. And that sounds like what I'm hearing with y'all.
It's definitely God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so now with each other working together, hand in hand, stronger together, what's the next step for your foundations?
So, well, we're working on we want a facility. God told me that I was going to have another ranch, but it was going to be used for saving lives. And so I lived 30 years on a ranch, and so
that's big. That goes back to my point.
That's right. That's only something God can do, and so that's what I'm praying for is a ranch in Ocala, Florida, because I believe that's where God told me it was going to be. So I'm asking for that, and every prison that we can get in, and it's not just prisons, it's outside of prison, because there's women hurting everywhere. There's women hiding in abusive marriages everywhere. There's women that are addicted to Adderall, and I was addicted to Adderall for a long time. I was taking like 30 milligram pills and like 6 or 8 a day. I should be dead, actually.
Yeah.
And there's women suffering even outside of prison.
Right.
And so whatever that looks like, wherever that looks like, we want to help as many women as we can get free and healed as we can, and whether that's within the prison walls or outside of the prison walls. And so, but Dog and I love doing tent ministry, so we set tents up.
I've been to many church revivals in my day. Or tent revivals, rather.
Yeah, we do that in the prisons.
Yes.
And set them up in the yard. And so we just see God move powerfully. So
no, I think it's unbelievable, and I love the fact that I can just tell when you talk about it. Like, it's different. Like we were talking earlier about, the dog, and we love Samson the dog. You had
Samson,
who's awesome, and we'll talk about him. He's amazing. He's
his own show.
Dwayne and Francie's dog. He is his own show, and we'll talk about that. But there's a certain look you have when you talk about that. I see the passion.
I'm passionate about it.
When you talk about doing something as big as a ranch. Go ahead.
In a million years, I saw God doing all these things for other people. But in a million years, I never thought God would use someone like me to influence other people's lives. And so for that to be playing out in my life, how do I not
so precious
do it?
So precious. And I'm trying. I don't want you to mess up your makeup, so I'm going to try to back off of it. You have me in tears too, Francie. But, okay, so we know what Francie wants to do and how to make her ministry bigger. With the possibility of a ranch in Ocala, she's got so many plans. How do you see that happening for you, Dr. Dawn?
I just feel that it's time to reproduce. I've had homes for women now for 18 years. And just seeing ladies graduate from our home, start their own homes, and disciple their own ladies, have their own core-ordered ladies, and just to continue to disciple and reproduce what God has done in my life.
I love it.
And see what he's doing in the lives of others.
It's so encouraging. Francie, you obviously have a very public image now that maybe you didn't early on. And it's been wonderful. I know the relationship's great. We've talked about that kind of stuff. How has becoming more of a public figure helped what you want to do and want to accomplish?
It's funny that you say that, because I have had church women say to me, the only reason why you got through the door was because of Dog. And so that may be very true, but I have to keep myself there.
That's right.
And
Absolutely.
so...
But don't you think that my response would be to that, right? That's God working.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
So because of Dog's name, it may have opened the door, but I'm coming through the door.
That's exactly
and
right.
I'm staying.
And I've got a mission to to accomplish. I love it. How has he helped you?
Oh my gosh, he has pushed me to get out there, because I would have been okay with just being his wife, and he was not going to allow that to happen. Right. So very early on, he was pushing me in interviews and pushing me out there. And the truth is that he sees in me what sometimes I don't even see. And so he pushes me to be there.
And be better.
Yeah.
And then when he sees you at the point where you think I've got to where I need to be, does he push you even further?
Yes.
See, that's
yes.
That's the yin and the yang, right?
He won't let me stay there.
That's right.
He pushes me
because there's something
bigger.
Better.
Yes.
Yeah. And he knows it too, because he's seen it in his own life.
Yes.
No, I love that. Do you have something similar? Is your husband maybe that way? Maybe not as public, but having that person that backs you up, that says, I see your vision and I'm going to help you get there.
Sure, absolutely. And just going in as a team, just like we were talking about, we're so different, but both bring something to the table.
What is it that you think your husband, give me his name again?
His name's Ron.
What is it that Ron brings that maybe you don't, or he's able to see something that you haven't?
Just, he's a very gentle, kind, sweet, loving. He's a giant. Okay. So when you look at him, he's pretty scary.
He's a big old boy, as they say down south.
Big giant, 6'6", 275 pounds.
He's a linebacker.
Yeah. So, but he looks like the mean one, but he's really a sweet, gentle teddy bear.
Yeah.
Me, not so much.
Okay, I love that.
Yeah,
I love
I'm
that.
the forerunner.
And when he sees you marching toward the goal,
Yeah.
He's right there behind you and gives you that extra push to
he's
make
got
sure
my
you get
back.
to make sure you
For
get to
sure.
get there. I love it.
Yeah.
I think it's so great. How do you feel like that your background, Dawn, has helped you be more empathetic, has helped you understand more, that maybe even people that aren't, maybe people that are trying to accomplish a similar goal, but they don't have that background. You
Right.
do. You uniquely do. God using something that maybe you or other people might say that, that's ugly. It's an ugly background.
Mm-hmm.
And you see it something completely different, and it makes you even more dialed in and able to accomplish the goal even better because you've been there.
Right. And I think because we've been there and done that, it brings a level of trust to the people we're ministering to. And, I'm homeless. Well, I was homeless, or, I've been abused, or I'm, spent years in addiction. Well, I understand that, I've been there too. I've done prison time. When you're talking to inmates, when you see somebody that's been there and done that.
I bet they don't expect that, though.
No.
Because you're so well put together, such a,
Thank you.
you're both so lovely, and they don't expect to hear what you're saying.
Yeah, and I thank God that I don't look like where I came from.
Me too.
That's right.
Been there, done that. Yeah.
Absolutely. But I love the fact, Francie, that she brought up trust.
Yeah.
Because that's, I think, every relationship in your life, whether you're a husband or wife, you listening right now, you know how important trust is, whether you're a pastor at church, your own children, whatever it is, trust is it's what everything is based off of. Mm-hmm. How do you develop that trust with people that have never met you and don't know maybe they've never met, they never heard a dog?
Yeah.
I can't imagine that being the case, but maybe there's somebody. But what is it, when they come across you, how do you develop that trust?
Listen, because of where Dawn and I have come from, we don't trust anybody. That was my biggest, that was my hardest thing in getting close in my relationship with God, even, is because I don't trust anybody. And so it's about putting your arms down. Like, I had to put my arms down and not keep God at arm's length.
Okay, got
from
it.
me.
Yeah. Yep.
To let him in.
Yes,
and
ma'am.
so when you're willing to meet people where they're at,
Yeah.
and you accept them right where they are,
Yeah.
I don't. It doesn't matter what they've done, where they came from. When you're willing to meet somebody where they're at and love them there, that breaks down the walls.
Yeah.
That puts the arms down.
And I feel like the world is looking for authenticity.
Yes, ma'am.
I mean, we have a lot of people
Agreed.
sitting in churches that act like they've never been through anything. And, when we go into prisons or go speak to these women, they're like, hey, she's been there, done that. Look where she's at. There's no shame from where I come from anymore because I'm close to him. I don't care what people think. I want to use where he brought me from to pour his love out onto those who need it.
It's the most beautiful thing I think I've heard anybody say today. It's amazing. There's an old there's an Eric Church song, country star. I don't know if y'all listen to country at all, but Eric Church is one of my favorite artists, and he's like, there's a line in one of his songs that says, "I'm a back row center at a tent revival."
That's right.
I want you to talk to that person.
I started in the back row because I wanted a way out the door, and God drew me to the front. And I put my arms down and I let him in. And it changed my whole life because I found an acceptance and a love there that was like nothing I've ever experienced before. And he started to show me, a me that was through different glasses, and a me that I never thought possible that I could become, and I did. And so put your arms down and come up front. Because, baby, there's some love up there that you'll never experience anywhere else.
The love of a father.
That's right.
I that's what I wrote down as you were explaining that, because we had the conversation earlier, but not everybody having a wonderful childhood growing up.
That's right.
So, Dawn, let me bring you in. If you're talking to that back row center at a tent revival, what are you saying?
Well, if there's breath in your body, there's hope for your soul. Nobody's too far gone. And just like Francie said, just run to him with reckless abandon. Don't try to figure it out. Don't try to change yourself, because the closer you get to him, the more the change comes. you can't get in the presence of God and stay the same.
Amen to that. Gosh, this is such a great conversation. As much fun as we had, and we had wonderful conversation with a dog. I'll bet he, as he walks into the room now, would say that this conversation is so moving, and it's so important. That's why I hope you listening right now will share it with someone, not because of us, because of them. Give them the opportunity to hear those words that maybe they've never heard before. This is a perfect time to do it. And whether you share it in a quiet text or you post it on social media, it doesn't matter to us. It doesn't matter as long as the word is shared. I think that's the most important thing. When we come back on Justice Unfiltered, as we wrap up in the final segment with Francie Chapman and Don Atkins here on Extra 106.3 and Daniel Matalon, who you've just been taking it in, and I'm sorry, man.
No. This has been it's been incredible.
It's just so moving, and you've been there absorbing it all. But thank you so much for doing this show, first of all, because we can have conversations like this that you won't see on the nightly news, you won't see on The View, you won't see in places that maybe you go to for information or entertainment or whatever. And I hope you get all of that here too, but I hope more importantly you get His word. And when we come back, I want to talk about how folks might reach out to both of y'all in your ministries, and then if they don't need the help that the ministry provides, how can they help you help other people? We'll talk about that next on Justice Unfiltered on Extra 106.3.
Now back to Justice Unfiltered, presented by A Second Chance Bail Bonds on Extra 106.3 FM and the Extra app.
Welcome back to Justice Unfiltered with Daniel Matalon. He is the CEO of A Second Chance Bail Bonds and A Second Chance Monitoring. My name is Tug Cowart, and I'm so honored to sit here and talk to these special ladies doing incredible work that I know if you've not heard about yet, go back and listen to the previous two segments. I want you to get the full depth, the full breadth of what we've been talking about, because we've gone from hard times and addiction to better times and finding a Savior and getting yourself in a situation to do good on His behalf. And knowing that your life has more meaning than just, hey, we're going to dinner tonight, or we're taking the kids to ball practice, and nothing wrong with any of those things. Our guest, Francie Chapman, that is Dog's wife, and Don Atkins, Dr. Don Atkins, both of them run great ministries. Francie's is called
the Dog Foundation.
Dog Foundation, there we go. Yep. And then Dawn, Radical Restoration Ministries. So how do people get in touch with you? Let's say there's someone listening that knows someone that can use your help, or someone listening right now that can, indeed, them listening right now can use your help. How do they get a hold of you?
So you can reach out to us at dogfoundation.com and send us a message, or through social media. If you want to send me a message on Instagram or Facebook, it's Francie Dog Chapman. Just send me a private message, and one of us will get back to you.
And Dawn?
And the same thing. Ours is radicalrestorationministries.com, or you can reach out on social media, Instagram, Facebook.
Let's say somebody is listening now, and they're not in that situation. It's not something that they need in their life necessarily, but they do see the value in it, and they want to support y'all in what you do. Maybe a woman that's been through it, or a man whose wife, in a previous marriage, or whatever the situation. I mean, there could be 1,000 different situations. How do they reach out to y'all? Well, I guess reaching out the same way. I guess the better question is, how can they help y'all? Is it a monetary donation? Is it a time donation?
Well, we always are willing to take donations. It costs money for us to travel and go into the prisons to get women help, to get them in safe housing, to get them in a safe place. To get them counseling and medical attention, all of those things. We also get women into counseling. Even after they've gotten out of their situations, we help them to get into counseling. So all of those things help. And, when we do events, we always need people to come and help.
Yeah,
So-
and they reach out the same
Yes.
way as you talked about earlier, Dawn. What about on your side? What is it that y'all could use the most of? Is it time? Is it monetary? Is it the same?
Well,
Both?
monetary always. I'm always looking for people to sponsor a girl to go through our program. I never have a woman come off the streets or out of prison that has money.
Yeah.
So we're always
Fair
looking
enough.
for that, and always looking for people that want to volunteer. That what they bring to the table, whether it's teaching a cooking class or a Bible study or whatever they bring to the table, we're appreciative.
No question. What about like for the ladies that are in prison or in jail? I know when I was in the Navy, my favorite day was when mail call came in, and it didn't matter if it was just a card from a family member saying, "Hey, I'm thinking about you," or my mom and daddy sent me a big old care package with Snicker bars and Dorito potato chips in there. That would lit up my day. Is that something that would be helpful? Is that something that y'all even do? Care packages for those
Sure.
sweet ladies?
And you can get that off of our website, radicalrestorationministries.com, and get that address for that and send the ladies.
I'm telling you, there was nothing more. There was nothing more that I loved on, was mail call. in the Navy.
Even a postcard.
Yeah. It's the smallest thing, just to remind you of home, remind you of something good,
Sure.
put a smile on your face,
There's so many women in the prison that their families have walked away from them, and which, it's part of addiction, and you get to a place where it's just enough. And so we understand it, but it's hard for the ladies that are trying to put their life back together. And the other part is part of why I love Dawn so much is these women have no hope. When we did the re-entry day, there's a unit at the prison that's all re-entry. They're all going back. And I think there was, 200 women in there. I'm going to say 70 to 80% of those women are terrified of leaving prison. And that was a first for me. I didn't realize that. They're terrified because they're clean. They've built community in the prison. They have this group of tight-knit friends, and now they're being let out, and they either have nowhere to go or they're going right back to what they came from, and they know that they're gonna use again. Right. They know they're gonna put themselves in that position, but they have no place else to go, and it's heartbreaking to see, and they're terrified to leave.
And that's what y'all hold their hand through that, I'm
Yes.
sure, right?
Right.
Which is probably the most important thing that y'all do, I would imagine.
It's very difficult to see, but they have nowhere to go. And that's the hard part. How do you fill that gap of that when they come out of prison, trying to put them all in safe places so they can build a life?
That's a big part of what our ministry does in the prison, is we just provided 200 pair of tennis shoes.
Oh, my goodness.
Providing clothing for them to have upon release. Trying to help provide hygienes for those in prison that don't have families to send them money. So any of those places that anybody would want to give, either monetarily or give the hygienes, I can get a list of what's needed.
Gosh.
And then,
It's I feel like we could talk for another hour, but as we wrap up here in the last minute, anything that I left out that I needed to hit that you would like to hit, Francie?
Not for me.
No?
You did a great job.
Well, you're fair kind.
You did a great job.
No, is there anything
The
that
questions,
I think that's
you're
good.
very sweet. You're very sweet. But more importantly, is there anything that I left out for your ministry, Dawn? Anything that would be good to hit?
I don't think so. I think
Okay,
you
all
did
right. Well,
good.
look, I feel like I've got a run today.
Yeah,
you did.
Well done, Tug.
Now that
Well
was-
done.
Thanks.
Well done.
I just feel like there's I just you just never know, but you don't know, and this is going to sound so cliche, but you don't know what you don't know, and I didn't know because I wanted to make sure that we got all the things out there that were so important, because I know the work y'all do is so valuable, and ultimately it's about leading people to Jesus, and I know y'all are doing that, and that's God's work.
Listen, Jesus says in the Bible that when you do it unto the least of these, you've done it unto me. And I think as a society in a whole, as Christians, as believers, we have forgotten that it's the least of these. Jesus, he wasn't at the table with the influencers.
No, that's right.
And so that's what he's called us to.
That's right.
And we should all be paying attention to that.
Yeah. Dawn, any last thoughts?
Same thing.
Yeah, it's beautiful. A beautiful day. Daniel, thank you for giving us this platform.
Thank you, Daniel.
Thank you.
We love you.
We do love Daniel. He does good work.
Yes, he does. We love him.
And he cares, and his Second Chance Community Foundation is doing work right alongside y'all, I know, and so many others too. So we're grateful for Daniel and a Second Chance Bail Bonds, Second Chance Monitoring. Francie, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Dawn, thank you. My name is Tug. This is Justice Unfiltered on Extra 106.3.
This is an Extra 106.3 podcast. To hear more live and local content like this, tune into 106.3 FM or download the Extra 106.3 app.